नमस्कार, आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आप देख रहे हैं पीएम ई-विद्या चैनल नंबर 1 से 12 और इसके साथ चैनल नंबर 31 भी। और आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूं मैं रेणु भट्ट अपने इस लाइव इंटरैक्शन में, जिसे आप पीएम ई-विद्या चैनल्स के साथ साथ हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल्स पर भी देख पा रहे हैं, जो है NCERT ऑफिशियल और NCERT पीएम ई-विद्या क्लास नंबर 1 से 12 और हमारे स्पेशल चैनल पर 31 चैनल पर भी। और आपको अपनी टेलीविज़न स्क्रीन पर मेरे साथ नज़र आ रही हैं हमारी साइन लैंग्वेज इंटरप्रेटर। चलिए आप सभी का परिचय करवाते हैं उनसे। आप हैं मिस अनुष्का। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है और कुछ ही देर में हमारे साथ हमारे दूसरे इंटरप्रेटर आशीष भी ज्वाइन करेंगे। यहाँ पर हम अपने सभी देखने वालों को बता दें कि हमारी स्पेशल 6 दिवसीय ऑनलाइन सीरीज़ है, जहाँ पर हम सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं फर्स्ट एनिवर्सरी ऑफ पीएम ई-विद्या DTH ISL चैनल नंबर 31। तो इस सेलिब्रेशन को हम कंटिन्यू रखेंगे अगले 5 दिन और आपके साथ ढेर सारी बातें हम साझा करने वाले हैं। बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स पे हम बात करने वाले हैं। आज डे 2 है और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं 21st सेंचुरी लाइफ स्किल्स पे। और जब हम लाइफ स्किल्स की बात करते हैं तो काफ़ी सारी लाइफ स्किल्स हम अपने आसपास देखते हैं बच्चों में, जो हम सभी के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, नॉट ओनली फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स। जब हम बच्चे होते हैं, जब बड़े होते हैं तो वो हमें बहुत काम में आती हैं, लाइक कॉन्फिडेंस, कम्युनिकेशन जिस पे हमने कल बातचीत की थी, और रिजीलियंस। इसके साथ साथ इमोशनल स्ट्रेंथनिंग होना भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। लेकिन व्हाट आर 21st सेंचुरी लाइफ स्किल्स? ऐसी क्या चेंजेस हैं जो हम सभी को जानना ज़रूरी है और सभी बच्चों में होना स्पेसिफिकली बहुत ज़रूरी है? इस पर आपको जानकारी देंगी हमारे एक्सपर्ट जो हमारे साथ जुड़ चुकी हैं। तो चलिए आप सभी का हम उनसे परिचय करवाना चाहेंगे। आप हैं डॉक्टर प्रमिला मनोहरन, आप एजुकेशन प्रोग्राम स्पेशलिस्ट हैं यूनिसेफ इंडिया से। मैम, वेरी वार्म वेलकम, स्वागत है आपका।
नमस्ते।
और हमारे साथ हमारी दूसरी एक्सपर्ट भी हैं। आप हैं डॉक्टर सिमी महाजन, आप चीफ प्रोग्राम ऑफिसर हैं प्रोजेक्ट इंक्लूजन श्री औरबिंदो सोसाइटी से। मैम, आपका भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। यहाँ पर हम अपने सभी देखने वालों को एक बार फिर से बताना चाहेंगे, एज वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग फर्स्ट एनिवर्सरी ऑफ पीएम ई-विद्या DTH ISL चैनल नंबर 31। आप अपनी बातें हमसे ज़रूर शेयर करें। वी वांट योर फीडबैक एज वेल। हम चाहते हैं कि आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हमसे जुड़े और इस चैनल को और इस पूरी सीरीज़ को, इस इनिशिएटिव को सक्सेसफुल बनाएं। आप अगर कोई भी बात हमारे एक्सपर्ट से शेयर करना चाहते हैं, इन केस यू हैव एनी क्वेरी और क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक, यू कैन कॉल अस ऑन आवर टेलीफोन number, that is 8800-440-559. Either you can drop a mail as well with all your feedbacks. Our email address is dth.isl31@ciat.nic.in. यूट्यूब चैनल्स पे हैं तो लाइव चैट बॉक्स में जाकर अपना कमेंट ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं। आप जैसे ही वहाँ पर अपना कमेंट ड्रॉप करेंगे, आपकी बात तुरंत हम तक पहुँच जाएगी। तो आप ज़रूर हम इस लाइव इंटरेक्शन में पार्टिसिपेट करें और इस सीरीज़ को सक्सेसफुल बनाएं। हम बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक लेकर आए हैं आपके साथ, ताकि हम आप तक ये सारी बातें पहुंचाएं। यहाँ पर हम इस सेशन को शुरू करना चाहेंगे। अब प्रमिला मैम, वी वांट यू टू स्टार्ट दिस सेशन एंड एज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 21st सेंचुरी लाइफ स्किल्स। लाइफ स्किल्स आर वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस, राइट? तो ये हम जो है, इट्स नॉट लाइक कि जो बॉर्न विद ऑल दीज लाइफ स्किल्स, हम इसे गेन भी कर सकते हैं, हम समय के साथ साथ इसे इन्हांस भी कर सकते हैं। लेकिन सबसे पहले हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि व्हाट आर लाइफ स्किल्स एंड व्हाट आर 21st सेंचुरी लाइफ स्किल्स, मैम?
एग्जैक्टली, थैंक यू सो मच। जब लाइफ स्किल्स और 21st सेंचुरी स्किल्स, जब ये शब्द हम सुनते हैं, हम हमेशा उसको एडोलेसेंस के साथ कनेक्ट करते हैं,
राइट?
मगर एडोलेसेंस पीरियड में इसका विंडो ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी आता है। इफ़ यू कैन मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज।
यस।
Adolescence is a remarkable opportunity. The years between 10 to 25 years of period is a period for growth and in which development and learning maximizes. As we go along in strengthening adolescent period, we have to look back on the early childhood development as well. If you can move to the next slide please. Early childhood period is very, very important period in anybody's life. This early childhood, every child has a right to a quality early start. In this early start, not only skills, but the child have to have good nutrition, protection, as well as a safe environment. If you look at early childhood development, the DNA gives the blueprint for anybody, but the environment shapes the brain development. In the early period, which is 0 to 8, in that early period, there is multiple neutron connections which are happening, and it happens in rapid stage. This chance does not repeat in the life. So that's why early childhood is very, very important to develop the structure for lifelong learning. In the early childhood, visual, language, memory, emotion, behavioral control and motor skill gets developed. This is like a foundation for a building. If you have to build anything upon a building, the foundation have to be stronger. Then only we can keep on building over that foundation, how much ever we want to go high or wide. Similarly, the early childhood period confirms what an individual is going to be in their life. That's why in this period, it's very important the child gets nurture, the child gets stimulations to ensure the child has a successful life going forward. And in this, if we look at behavioral control, language, memory, visual, emotion and motor skills, for children of that early childhood, there should be playful environment. Playful learning should happen. They should be allowed to jump, physical movement. So it's not only cognitive development, but physical as well as emotional development. That is important because the positive affirmations build the neural connections. But if there is negative affirmations, that will affect and produce toxic stress. That's why it's important the child is provided safe environment to grow and be successful in lifelong learning. This puts the blueprint. When you look at 21st century skills, so we saw the stimulation and we have seen the basic literacy and numeracy. Academic part, the cognitive development is core. Along with that, you have transferable skills which are life skills. We will be looking at it in much more detail, which are critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, negotiation, empathy, many of this, communication which you saw yesterday also. With all of this, resilience. Along with this life skills which are transferable skills, you need to have digital skills as well as financial literacy. That completes the holistic 21st century skills, because not only academics is going to help you. Nowadays, digital, everywhere it's digital. So how much are we imparting the digital skills to our children, and how we are enabling them to have understanding on financial literacy along with all the other skills which we saw is also important for a good foundation for the child's life.
Right. तो as we are moving ahead with times of technology, तो जो हमारी 21st सेंचुरी स्किल्स हैं उसमें डिजिटल और फिनेंशियल लिटरेसी का होना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, ताकि सभी को, इट्स नॉट मैम, जब हम डिजिटल और फिनेंशियल लिटरेसी की बात करते हैं, इट्स नॉट लाइक एज बैरियर या एज बाउंड नहीं है कि इस एज के बच्चों के लिए या लोगों के लिए सही नहीं है. ये चीज़ ऐसी है जो सबके पास होना ही चाहिए, सबको आना ही चाहिए. मैम, प्रमिला मैम, यहाँ पर हम चाहते हैं कि वी वांट यू टू आंसर दिस एंड टेल अस मोर अबाउट हाउ डू वी रीडिफाइन सक्सेस बियॉन्ड एकेडमिक्स. मैम,
Exactly. See, I spoke about the neural pathways getting stimulated in the early childhood period. There is another beautiful period happens which is an adolescent period, which is the second decade, which is from beyond age 10 onwards. Let's watch a video. This video will tell us, and then I will explain more on this.
We used to think the shaping of brain
We
wiring
used to think the
systems
shaping
tapered
of
off
brain
after
wiring
early
systems
childhood.
tapered off
But
after early
neuroscience tells us
childhood.
the brain
But
goes
neuroscience
through
tells
another
us the
rapid
brain
phase
goes
of
through
change from
another
age 9
rapid
to
phase of
14,
change from age
a
9 to
second
14.
window of opportunity. Early adolescence is a crucial period for brain development, where many challenges.
Better and faster connections between systems, improving the ability to make decisions, solve problems, understand consequences, and to gain more control over emotions and behavior. At the same time, the adolescent brain goes through a period of greater sensitivity to social evaluation and emotional reactions. Increased sensation seeking, interest in social relationships, and exploration of identity all begin to emerge. Early adolescence brings on broadening experiences, acquisition of new skills, and formation of social networks that will have lasting impacts for the rest of a young person's life. To learn more, download the new publication, The Adolescent Brain, a second window of opportunity, on the link below.
Yes, ma'am. Please explain, ma'am.
See, as I was informing you all, the second window period happens from age 10 onwards. What happens in that period? The neural pathways which are set in the early childhood gets consolidated. The prefrontal cortex gets consolidated, strengthened. During that time, behavioral control, use of rules, risk-reward decisions, emotions, reactions and responses, working memory, error processing, all of this gets strengthened. During that time, it is very important to understand a child's life. It's a teenage period. We all think teenage period students always rebel, but it is not so. At that period, for a child, can I stop?
You may please continue,
For
ma'am.
a child, during that time, there is hormonal changes in the body and hormones get secreting. When this hormones get secreting, there's bodily changes also during adolescent period. And in our society, we don't talk about the bodily changes. So children are not aware where to go to get understanding on what is happening with me is something they are clueless about. So nowadays there's internet available of informations, some may not be correct, and they go to their peers also, their classmates, whom they feel safe. At home, if we provide a safe environment for children to discuss with parents openly what is happening, or in our schools, if we provide an environment for children to approach the teacher, it is easier for children to ensure that they go in the right path. They will not deviate or get into deviant behavior, because this is a period where behavioral control happens. When that behavioral control is guided with care and love, any child will be able to correct their life to go forward in a successful path. In this period, there is cortisol secretion happens, dopamine gets released, which is a feel-good hormone. So, children would like to do things which makes them happy. So, we have to be mindful to get the benefits of early childhood and consolidate it at the adolescent period to set standard for their future. This adolescent period is crucial. That's when the life skills gets completely consolidated. If we can move to the next slide. The executive functioning skills built throughout childhood and adolescence. You can look at this graph. Here you can see from age, and which is the highest peak, which is in the teenage period. In the teenage period, it's very important that when the growth continues from early childhood towards their adolescent life, we have to be providing the same care, nurture, safe learning environment and a productive environment where the child can be successful and thrive much better. If we can go to next slide. As I was telling you all, for anybody to have a successful life, they have to have learning, which is core, which is important, for which critical thinking, creativity and problem solving, which enables them to know. So, they are learning to know, and they, with that knowledge, they learning to do. They negotiate, they do decision making, and that learning to do enables them to be a good human being. Self-awareness, communication, resilience sets in. That leads them to lead a successful life as a successful citizen, which is empathy and participation. This is the core for life skills: empowerment, employability, citizenship and learning. That's why it's important from early childhood we ensure all children get the equal opportunity with skill development until they are in schools and then afterwards too, so that we have a successful citizens for Viksit Bharat in India.
डेफिनेटली अब जब हम बात करते हैं विकसित भारत की, तो हमारे जो सिटीजन्स हैं वो उन सब में ये क्वालिटीज़ होनी चाहिए, लाइफ स्किल्स होनी चाहिए, वी कैन से सो. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं जो बहुत ज़रूरी है. और क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग की जब हम बात करते हैं, यहाँ पे एम्पैथी की बात करें, ये ऐसे कुछ स्किल्स हैं मैम जो बहुत आपको बहुत इन्हांस करते हैं आपकी पर्सनालिटी को. तो ये सारी स्किल्स जो हैं बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं. यहाँ पर हम एक बार फिर से अपने सभी देखने वालों को बताएंगे कि वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग दिस सीरीज़ एंड दिस वीक हम फर्स्ट एनिवर्सरी ऑफ पीएम ई-विद्या ISL चैनल नंबर 31 हम सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं फर्स्ट एनिवर्सरी को. और हम चाहते हैं कि आप भी इसका पार्ट बने, आप भी इसका हिस्सा बने. इस एक उद्देश्य के साथ इस चैनल को शुरू किया गया था कि ना सिर्फ हमारे स्पेशल नीड बच्चों के लिए, बल्कि जितने भी स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स हैं, इंटरप्रेटर्स हैं और जितने भी हम आमजन हैं, हम सभी के बीच में इंडियन साइन लैंग्वेज को प्रमोट किया जा सके. हम सभी के अंदर इतनी संवेदनशीलता आए कि हम देखें कि हमारे आसपास जो लोग हैं हम उनके लिए और क्या बेहतर बना सकते हैं समाज को और कितना आसान कर सकते हैं चीज़ों को. यहाँ पर हम इस चर्चा को आगे बढ़ाएंगे. हम वी वांट यू टू पार्टिसिपेट इन दिस लाइव इंटरेक्शन बाय कमेंटिंग. आप कमेंट कर सकते हैं हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल के वीडियो में जा कर के, और आप हमें कॉल भी कर सकते हैं. हमसे जुड़ने के सारे तरीके आपको अपनी टेलीविज़न स्क्रीन पर नज़र आ रहे हैं, तो आप ज़रूर उनका इस्तेमाल करें. यहाँ पर सिमी मैम हम आपके पास आएंगे. हम जब बात करते हैं लाइफ स्किल्स की, तो उनका नेचर ही इंक्लूसिव है, राइट. तो ऐसे में जब हम क्लासरूम की बात करें तो हाईली डाइवर्स क्लास हमारे पास होती है. बच्चे जिनके लैंग्वेज और बैकग्राउंड अलग अलग होते हैं, उनकी एबिलिटीज़ अलग अलग होती हैं. तो ऐसे में जब हम बात करते हैं लाइफ स्किल एजुकेशन की, तो जेन्युइनली इसको ये किस तरह से ये इंक्लूसिव बनाता है रादर देन वन साइज फिट्स ऑल वाली बात से हट के मैम.
So when we talk about life skill, so life skill has an inherent quality of being inclusive.
Right.
So if we see a diverse classroom with we have different learners in terms of abilities, learning styles, socio-economic background. So at that time the core principles of if we talk about inclusive education, we talk about that we have to recognize diversity in learners. So as if in the education system, what we talk about that when the teacher is there, we are able to identify diversities. First of all is that we are able to recognize that there are different children in my classroom. And we have to recognizing doesn't mean only that we have to understand what are their diverse needs also. So that we are focusing not on the limitations, we are focusing on their strength and abilities, what can they do, how they can perform better. and then encourages equal participation. So when we because most of the time we give up on certain children with our assumptions that कि शायद ये बच्चा नहीं कर पाएगा, rather than so when we talk about inclusion and life skills, it gives that we should respect every learner, every person in fact, and give everyone the opportunity. The only thing is as the inclusive education knowledge gives the person that how that inclusion has to happen, how the different needs need to be taken care upon, so that every person doesn't feel that he is different. So he is a part of the system. So we need to provide that support to the child and create an environment where everybody is working, learning together. Children are sitting together. They are peer, because it's inclusiveness, and especially the life. When we talk about the life skills, first thing is that peer to peer relationship. Because when the inclusiveness of this is there, so we will see lot of incidences like bullying can be reduced. When we see that my peer is having some special need and I'm taking care upon, but that is not, it is a one-way interaction. While working with the other person, that the other peer also learns in return. So it gives lot of, actually those are the real life skills which happens in the classroom, and it's a real life situations what we can see that they come across and they learn.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, at a time where when adolescents are facing mental health issues, right, stress are there, academic pressure and social risk, how can life skill as a protective factor rather than just an additional subject in school, ma'am?
So, Madam said very rightly that we always have seen that adolescent is the time when life skill is required, and because this is a time when there is a lot of physical, biological changes are happening in the body. There is because everything like the physical capacity, social, mental capacity is on the peak. And what are the when we see in the Indian context, that we have 2.1 million in terms of disability lens, I will be speaking about, we have 2.1 million children with disability, and many of them, they are not able to go to the school education. And when adolescent period is there, where we see that that time is there when everybody feels, for every child, everybody feels this is a challenge time, whether it is parent, for the teachers, for anyone. So at that time, the life skill really has an important role to play, and it is again, we cannot just focus on life skills that it is during the adolescent period, because this is what even my co-panelist said very rightly, that it has to be developed since childhood. Only then we can actually use those life skills during the adolescent period of time. Because we have lot of challenges during this time, that there is a climate issue, there is a population pressure, poverty, we have a personal and social risk behavior during this time, like addictions, substance abuse, violence, delinquency, mental health issues. We have systemic pressures also, academic pressure, competitions, unemployment, job security. These are real challenges in the adolescent health issue. So at that time, how the education system has to respond to such need. So life skill acts as a bridge between these challenges and how it can be imparted. So we have to really again same principle happens, that we have to be patient, and listening skills needs to be better during this time. A freedom of expression should be given to children, where they can freely express what is happening inside and outside their world. They can come to their elders in terms of their parents and the teachers, so that their issues, their queries are discussed openly. And definitely when because if they are getting life skills, they have been nurtured since beginning, then this comes into their quality, that there is somebody to share, and how I can take the right decision, because we are moving in the era of digital era where everything is available click away. Information is not an issue now in education. Information is available anywhere. The education system has the responsibility how to impart that education and to ensure that taking care of the different needs of children at different time. And then actually we can say that we can actually take care of this adolescent stage very beautifully if we can actually impart life skill education, and we have set the culture of those life skills since in the beginning of the age when the child is growing in the early childhood.
राइट तो थैंक यू सो वेरी मच मैम। सिमी मैम, आपने हमें इतने अच्छे और डिटेल तरीके से बताया, इतनी डिटेल में ये सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन हमारे सभी व्यूवर्स तक गई। आई एम क्वाइट श्योर हमारे व्यूवर्स को बहुत ही अच्छे से समझ में आ रहा है। और आपके मन में अगर कोई भी क्वेरी आ रही है तो आप प्लीज़ अपनी क्वेरीज हम तक ज़रूर पहुंचाएं। यहाँ पे प्रमिला मैम, हम चाहते हैं कि आप इस बात को और आगे ले जाएँ। लेट्स टेक दिस डिस्कशन मोर फर्दर। Please tell us about the lifelong learning. How do we ensure lifelong learning and growth mindset with ethical and responsible living, ma'am?
Exactly. See, ethical and responsible living, for which you require growth mindset. That's why I was saying in the beginning, you need a safe and protective, nurturing environment for a good developmental period for children, which sets the stage for the child's life. But if the child has gone through negative experiences, this is called a toxic stress. This toxic stress will not allow cognitive development happening, and it will inhibit the child's successful life. So, if we have to ensure growth mindset, we have to bring in the child into from class 1 onwards. How are we teaching our children? Is it only academic knowledge we are giving, or is it applied learning? When you include applied learning, the child learns whatever knowledge I gain, this is for my life. When I face situations in my life, this is how I have to handle. Because nobody lives in isolation. We all live in a society. We live in communities. What happens in school is a reflection which will happen at home. What happens at home will happen at school.
Right.
Because we are the same people at both the places. So, access to life skills program is very important for children, for safe and secure life skills program, which will help them. It have to be flexible and convenient for children to practice, and it should be gender neutral. Equality focused assessment should be there. Gender bias should not be there. It starts from early ages. So if we are wanting to be gender neutral, if we want no gender bias, start early. And if you want equality, respecting each other, then it have to start early. That's how the growth mindset starts. And when they are working in school, give small assessments for these children to do it at their community. Understanding their parents, understanding their relatives, understanding the environment around them, understanding about the water, understanding the transport system, all of that. Let the child understand what is happening around them. That's how you create linkages. As they grow older, give them little bit responsibilities which are safe for children to practice in the community with a elder guidance or a teacher's guidance. Give them some collaborative work they do together. That's where the small stepping stone is put for working together later in life. If we don't start working together in the school time, then how are we going to be working with multiple diverse culture, language? In that scenario, to work later in life, first we have to start working together in our school life itself. If we can move little further, see, building the brain. I was talking about the brain development from early childhood as well as into adolescent period. In adolescent period, this brain development can be referred to as an example to air traffic control. You all know about air traffic control, right? So many aeroplanes come in a day to an airport and they leave from different directions, different routes. All of that is happening. How it is being monitored and properly each flight is guided to land at a particular time and take off at a particular time. And while they are on air, they are monitored. Similarly, your brain is like a air traffic control for your body. It helps you to plan, focus attention, switch gears. You are doing something, multiple action you have to do. To juggle multiple tasks, your brain acts like a air traffic control system. But if you have not practiced these skills early on, it will be difficult for you to do it in your higher education or in your work scenario. That's why early building blocks of these skills is one of the most important and challenging tasks of the early childhood years. Their strength is critical to healthy development throughout childhood, adolescence and early adulthood. If we can go to the next slide, please. Children and adults can build core capabilities for life. These core capabilities during adolescence, the skills are not at adult levels, but the demand placed on the skills often are. Like you asked, madam, about the stress, the exam stress on children, and they have to do multiple things. Nowadays, children learn various skills like music or sports. They are into various things along with academics.
Right.
How are they able to juggle all this? They need to communicate also effectively in multiple contexts, managing their own school, extracurricular, successfully complete many abstract and complicated projects. Here are some suggestions for enabling teens to practice self-regulation throughout their life. For example, practice with real life situation. Encourage youth to problem solve around real life, what they face in their own life. For instance, trying to finish a project for school. Let them do it together within their own environment. Young people learn best when the experience is relevant to the real world. If I am teaching factorization, or if I am teaching algebra, or if I am teaching analytical geometry, it have to be connected to the world in which I am living in. If I am teaching Newton's law, physics, the force, mass, volume, all of this in our everyday life, the amount of food we consume, what is being bought, the car and the speed in which it goes, or a bus in which it goes, or the cycle. For all of this, there is interconnectivity in the subjects we learn. So my request to teachers is connect the real life and spot and plan for triggers. Sometimes in adolescent period, they go through a stress because of the bodily changes, the biological changes which happen in their body. So for them, empower youth to become more self-aware and develop coping strategies. That is very, very important. Take another view. For example, if a child gets agitated, frustrated with something which is going on around them, help the child to look at it from the other person's perspective, through which the child will understand why this is happening with me, or why this particular scenario is happening. Then they will be able to problem solve this. They will be able to find solution. Handhold the child to find solutions. Focus on personally motivating goals. What the child want to become in life. whatever the child knows about the careers in and around their life, if they've come across teacher or a policeman or a doctor or an engineer or a government officer, they will refer to only them. But give them more information, what is available, what is potential, because every child is potential to achieve the maximum in their life, for which the teachers have to enable the young child to self-identity, think long term and practice goal-driven behavior and build on positive memories and small successes. Everything cannot be achieved overnight. We build small. Set milestones for children. If they have done something very good, appreciate them. While appreciating, you will build positive behavior into the child. This is also very important. The memories, when children recall positive memories, they will be able to retain all the good memories, which will enable them to be a good human being for a responsible living as a citizen of a country. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो वेरी मच मैम फॉर दीज इन्फॉर्मेशंस एंड इट्स डेफिनेटली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन हम बात कर रहे हैं. टीचर्स ऑलवेज प्लेज अ वाइटल रोल इन एनी स्टूडेंट्स लाइफ, राइट. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल हो जाता है टीचर्स का. तो ये कुछ ऐसी बातें हैं जो टीचर्स को याद रखनी है बाय द टाइम यू विल इंगेज विद एनी ऑफ योर स्टूडेंट. यहाँ पे मैम आज वी आर रनिंग वेरी शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम, बट यहाँ पे सिमी मैम हम आपके पास आएंगे. हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे पर सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हम टीचर के ऊपर भी नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं. ऐसे में हम पेरेंट्स का रोल, एजुकेटर्स जो स्पेशलिस्ट हैं और जो कम्युनिटी है, इनके रोल के बारे में हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे. मैम प्लीज़ ब्रीफ में हमें बताएं.
सो वेरी वेल सेड कि जब हम बात कर रहे हैं बच्चे की ग्रोथ की, तो child learns from everywhere. So it is not that ki child is only learning from a school. So the other stakeholders, parents, the community also has a major role to play. जब हम लाइफ स्किल की एक क्लासरूम में अगर बच्चा कुछ सीख के जा रहा है, बट दियर रियल लाइफ हैपन्स एवरीवेयर. इट इज़ नॉट इन द क्लासरूम, इट इज़ इन द होम ऑल्सो. And so at this, so my take is that every stakeholder needs to be involved in that education. सपोज हम बच्चे को कुछ ऐसा सिखा रहे हैं तो वो पेरेंट्स भी अलाइंड होने चाहिए. अगर हम बात करें कि फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, या बच्चा कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट नया सीखना चाहता है, या हम डिसेबिलिटी के इंक्लूजन की बात करते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम हैव सीन दैट पेरेंट्स आर हेजिटेंट कि अगर उनका बच्चा टिपिकल है वो किसी एटिपिकल बच्चे के साथ ना बैठे, जबकि डिसेबिलिटी इज़ नॉट एन इन्फेक्शन. So rather diversity basically prepares children to actually solve the real life situations. How? Because life cannot be ideal. So the most important, we cannot actually, the education cannot be successful if it is only limited to the school. It has to be the parent, and the community has a very important role to play, so that whatever the child is been taught here in the school, same thing parents are also aligned. आज हम बच्चे को बात करते हैं ethical responsibility की, we have to judiciously use our resources जब sustainability की बात आ रही है. and घर पे जाता है वही बच्चा, तो पेरेंट्स वहाँ पे अगर यही बोल रहे हैं कि अरे नहीं, दिस इज़ द वे, बी कंफर्टेबल. हम बात करते हैं प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग सॉल्यूशंस की. आज की जो पेरेंटिंग है वो ज़्यादातर कंफर्ट पेरेंटिंग है. वी डोंट वांट टू गिव आवर चाइल्ड एनी प्रॉब्लम, रादर वी गो बियॉन्ड दैट.
राइट.
सो दैट एक्चुअली it's totally opposite, and the child gets confused where we have to go. So definitely collaboration outside rather than collaboration around the child is very important, where the community, where parents, teachers, social worker, everyone has to come together, and we are speaking the same thing. Only then it really gets embedded in a child.
Okay. तो हर किसी का रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। जैसे हमारी मैम ने कहा, एक्सपर्ट ने कहा कि नॉट ओनली टीचर्स एंड पेरेंट्स, बिकॉज टीचर और पेरेंट्स के साथ बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम गुजारते हैं, स्पेंड करते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली हम जो पेरेंट्स हैं और जो टीचर्स हैं उनसे बच्चे काफ़ी कुछ सीखते हैं। लेकिन एज अ कम्युनिटी का रोल भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उनका रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है किसी भी बच्चे को नर्चर करने में, उसकी पर्सनालिटी को इन्हांस करने में, ताकि फ्यूचर में वह एक बहुत अच्छा सिटीज़न बने। यहाँ पे मैम हम अब प्रमिला मैम आपसे जो है इसके सेशन को कंक्लूड करना चाहेंगे, कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क लेना चाहेंगे मैम।
Yeah, thank you so much. We have been listening so far about life skills and 21st century skills, and we are living in 21st century. So whatever we have learned so far with academic knowledge, transferable skills which are life skills, provide digital literacy as well as financial literacy, and give opportunity to every child, irrespective of where the child is from, or irrespective of the language, irrespective of the geography, irrespective of their abilities. Every child has a right to be successful in their life. So give opportunity to every child and provide that opportunity not only in school but also in their homes and in the community. Then we will have a very good successful future along with our children.
डेफिनेटली
Thank
मैम,
you.
डेफिनेटली, थैंक यू सो वेरी मच मैम। हर बच्चे को, जैसे मैम ने कहा कि अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलनी चाहिए, उसका एक राइट होना चाहिए, अधिकार होना चाहिए, तो ये सब चीज़ें जो बच्चे को मिलने चाहिए ताकि वो पंख फैलाकर उड़ सके। यहाँ पे सिमी मैम हम आपके पास आएंगे और आपसे जानना चाहेंगे मैम।
So again, just continue with that. I will say that ki life skill cannot be taught; it needs to be practiced everywhere. Whether it is in the classroom, at home, or when we are in community, we are at shopping mall. Everywhere we get lot of opportunities to practice. Only then, once we practice, we learn life skills.
डेफिनेटअप तो जितना प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, जितनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिलती हैं उतनी इसे प्रैक्टिस करते रहना चाहिए। यहाँ पे हम समय है कि हम इस सेशन को यहाँ पर रैप अप करें, लेकिन जाने से पहले प्रमिला मैम और सिमी मैम हम आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच मैम फॉर योर प्रेशियस टाइम। आप स्टूडियो आपने इतनी अच्छी इन्फॉर्मेशन हमारे सभी व्यूअर्स के साथ शेयर की। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच मैम।
Thank you.
यहाँ पर हम यहाँ पर अनुष्का और आशीष आपको भी धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे, अपने सभी देखने वालों का भी धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे। हम बात कर रहे थे 21st सेंचुरी लाइफ स्किल्स के बारे में, और जैसे कि आपको बताया गया है कि इन सभी स्किल्स को, बिकॉज हम टेक्नोलॉजी में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, हम समय में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, तो सभी में ये स्किल्स होना चाहिए, इसको सीखना चाहिए। समय आगे बढ़ता है तो समय के साथ साथ जो चीज़ें और स्किल्स भी बदलती रहती है, इसलिए डिजिटल और फिनेंशियल लिटरेसी का होना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है। आप देखिए बच्चों कि आपके आसपास कितनी चीज़ें जो है बदल रही हैं, वो सारे चेंजेस पॉजिटिव हो, हम यही चाहते हैं। आप उसे ग्रैब करें और अपने अंदर उसे आप लेकर आएँ। हम चाहते हैं कि आपकी पर्सनालिटी ओवरऑल होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट हो। यहाँ पर हम एक बात और बताना चाहेंगे अपने सभी देखने वालों को कि हम आपको बता दें कि कल हम किस टॉपिक के साथ वापस आने वाले हैं, बिकॉज इट्स अ 6 days ऑनलाइन सीरीज वेयर वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग फर्स्ट एनिवर्सरी ऑफ PM e-Vidya ISL चैनल नंबर 31। हम कल बात करने वाले हैं मेंटल हेल्थ और स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट पे, जो कि आज के समय में बहुत ज़रूरी है किसी भी वर्ग के लिए, आयु वर्ग के लिए अगर हम बात करें, लेकिन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए इट्स वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट। तो कल हम आपसे दोबारा मिलेंगे इस सीरीज़ के तीसरे दिन, और हम अपने सभी देखने वालों को बताना चाहेंगे अगर आप चौथी और सातवीं कक्षा की NCERT की नई टेक्स्ट बुक्स ऑर्डर करना चाहते हैं तो आप ऑर्डर कर सकते हैं अमेज़ॉन, फ्लिपकार्ट और NCERT की ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पर जाकर। इसके साथ ही हम आपको बताना चाहेंगे वो सेशंस जो आप दिन भर PM e-Vidya चैनल पर देख सकते हैं। हम कुछ ही देर में यानी कि 2 बजे आपके साथ दोबारा आएंगे अपने लाइव इंटरेक्शन के साथ, और हम बात करने वाले हैं उर्दू के तीसरी जमात के तलबा के लिए, जिसमें हमारा उन्वान रहने वाला है फूल कुमारी। बाकी सेशंस आपको अपनी टेलीविज़न स्क्रीन पर नज़र आ रहे हैं। आप हमारे साथ बने रह सकते हैं सहयोग सत्र तक। सो वी वांट यू टू पार्टिसिपेट इन दिस ऑल दिस सेशंस एंड इन दिस स्पेसिफिक सीरीज इन ह्यूज नंबर्स। अभी फ़िलहाल मुझे रेणु भट्ट को आप दें अनुमति, आप बने रहें PM e-Vidya चैनल्स पर फॉर मोर इन्फॉर्मेटिव प्रोग्राम्स। नमस्कार।